The continued adoption of high interest rates by banks despite the Monetary Policy Committee's downward correction has made the cost of finance unaffordable. Typically, mortgage rates feature around 4 percentage points above the central bank's rate, so that would be at 13 to 14%. However, average bank rates remain much higher at next to 18%.
Most of the people who invest in real estate do have a certain amount of equity put into a construction, for instance, but you would still expect that they would borrow a significant amount, and their return would then be affected by the level of interest rates.
The current interest rates are making mortgage payments twice as expensive as renting the same properties, meaning that mortgage finance houses are making losses at the current rates even when they're being rented out. Meanwhile, the cost of renting properties continued to rise by 1.9% in the last quarter, a 12.9% rise in the last year, putting a tighter financial squeeze on Kenyan households. The need for affordable housing to cater to low-income earners cannot be neglected by developers if the country is to prevent the growth of informal settlements.
So right now, developers don't find it profitable to build low-income housing. If some of these things were to change, then we could see more housing stock in that market. If governments were to speed up the regulations allowing prefab housing, if they were to service land outside of Nairobi that could be used for low-income housing, if they were to provide tax incentives to the developers, if the interest rates came down and allowed more people to take on mortgage financing, we would see a lot more housing stock in that market, which is what we need.
To encourage the flow of long-term funding, the possibility of developing a well-organized securitization program where financiers can obtain funding from the Capital Markets Authority should be considered, allowing the flow of pension funds, SACCOs and insurance funds into the mortgage market. Michelle Morgan reporting for Citizen Business.